Hello and welcome to this Focus ZENworks Service Desk video tutorial discussing how to migrate to the latest version. This is part 2 of a two-part series of migrating your service desk to version 8.1. The first was details on the migration with details about pre and post and installation tasks. This is a second with the video demonstration so you get a visual of the installs no matter if you're using InPlace or side-by-side migrations. Some of the things we'll discuss in this overview is making sure you previewed the Service Desk version 8 migration details presentation. That's the first part of this two-part series. We'll also discuss the upgrade process in place with a demo. We'll talk about the upgrade process side by side with a demo and subversions. Also debug, logging, and resource information as well. Again, be sure to review the presentation on version 8.x migration details on the Micro Focus training site or the YouTube channel. It will cover reminders, tips, strategies, testing and system requirements, prerequisite methods, and other details on upgrading your service desk to version 8.1. The upgrade process is the same in general for both in-place migrations and side-by-side migrations. You're going to have some pre-upgrade tasks, backup tasks, and these are already done prior to these demos, so you won't see that in action. You'll see that on the first part. You will see the migration tasks for the appliance OS and migration tasks for the database schema. And then post-upgrade tasks are also discussed in the first part. So this is primarily just the visual demonstration of the in-place and the side-by-side. Let's have a look at the demonstration for an in-place method. Migration method tasks for in-place migrations. This doesn't require any additional VM resources as far as propping up another server. Everything's going to be done on the same server that is currently either version 7.5 or 8.0. So you'll have an online update channel registration key available from your customer portal, so you can make sure you're registered to that channel to receive that prerequisite file. Run the RPM from the online update channel. You're then going to restart the services and log into the administration console as root, and you will see a product upgrade tile. You can go ahead and select that tile and process the latest upgrade. In this case, it will be ZENworks Service Desk 8.1 feature. Then log into the administration console to upgrade the schema. The migration method task for the database schema. It's the same for either in-place or side-by-side. You'll select the classic ZENworks Service Desk tile in the administration console, and then it'll prompt you to verify and connect to the database. Once you're connected, you can select Advanced and then Upgrade. It'll go through the upgrade and tell you it's completed. At which time you can log into the portal and your customers and users and all your configurations should be set up. We're going to do a quick walkthrough on upgrading our Service Desk 7.5 to version 8.1 directly. It's going to be an in-place upgrade. Being that the operating system hasn't changed between 7.5, 8.0, and 8.1, you can actually do an in-place upgrade from 7.5 to 8.1 or 8.0 to 8.1 without having to prop up another appliance. And since we're within two versions, we're able to go directly to 8.1. Anything prior to version 7.5, we'd have to do in multiple steps. But in this case, we're going to presume that the backups have been done and the prerequisites have been checked and the pre-upgrade and backup tasks have been done. So for your banners and your CSS files, any changes to Java or anything like that. If you haven't done any modifications like that, you don't have to back up those files because the defaults will be fine. But if there were changes, you'd want to make sure you back up those files. In this case, we're going to go ahead from 7.5 to 8.1. We're going to log into the administration console. And we can see here we haven't registered yet for the online update. So we'll go ahead and register in order to do an in-place upgrade. The activation key you'll find in your customer portal. And now we're registering to the 7.5 online update channel to get all the OS updates and any service desk updates that are needed for this particular appliance. We'll give it a minute to process through this. Now it's going to go out It's registered and looking for all the security updates, and you'll see them all here. Now, if you go to the bottom, you'll see the Service Desk release, which is a feature. This needs to be installed in order to do an InPlace upgrade. We'll go ahead and just update all of those now. We'll select automatically agree and automatically install and let it do its thing. Now, the nice thing about this is once this ZENworks Service Desk Appliance product upgrade version 7.5 is put in place, we'll have an upgrade icon in the Service Desk administration console. So let's wait for this to complete. We'll look at the Service Desk administration console. So it'll prompt us about the installation processes and what's going to be installed. We'll select OK. We can see the needed patches is blank now. If we do install patches, we can see that these are installed, as well as that appliance product upgrade. Let's go back to home and notice it says reboot needed. So we're going to go ahead and reboot so that all those patches will be in place. We'll wait a couple minutes and then log back in. You can see the VM is restarting. Also, one thing to note is we're on an MS SQL database. We have the ZSD login. Let's go ahead and see if we can log back in to the administration console. It may take a minute for Jetty to come up. There we go. And there we go. So now we have a product upgrade icon with an exclamation point, which means there's an upgrade waiting to be done and the prereqs have been taken care of. So we'll go ahead and select this. We notice that it's 8.1. We'll go ahead and hit start. We'll accept the licensing agreement. We now have to register to the 8.1 online upgrade channel. So let's go ahead and re-register. Do note it wants to make sure you have the activation key available prior to upgrading. Now, if we go ahead and do automatically agree with all licenses again, we're going to actually do, let's cancel this. And you can see 8.1 is ready to be installed. We'll go ahead and hit update now. And this will upgrade the OS and put things in place so that we can upgrade the schema on the MS SQL server. Telling us that it's going to apply the 8.1 and additional patches for it. A reboot is needed. We'll go ahead and reboot. Let's give it a couple minutes before we log back in. You can see it's rebooting here. Here we go. Give it a minute for Jetty to come up. There it is. Now you'll notice that product upgrade is gone now because we've now upgraded to 8.1. So we successfully upgraded the appliance to 8.1. We're going to go ahead and log into the service desk. And this you've seen before where you need to make sure that you can upgrade the schema, do your test, successfully connected to the database. We'll go ahead and hit advanced. And when we do the upgrade, it'll do the schema upgrade. And it's complete. Here we are. And we can see that we have everything still intact. Our customers are users. Our setups are set. We have our database. Until we reboot, it'll say it's completed successfully to 8.1. Once it's rebooted, it'll give you all your parameters for your database. But we have our LDAP, we have our ZENworks all configured. So we're good to go. Literally within 15-20 minutes after doing your pre-upgrade tasks and backups, you should be able to have an 8.1 up and running from version 7.5 or version 8.0. Now the only thing left to do would be to restore any other files that might be needed. Since it's an InPlace, your banners are going to remain the same. Your CSS files are going to remain the same. So just any tweaks that you need to do at this point. But otherwise, you're good to go. We've seen the InPlace migration to version 8.1. Now let's check out the demonstration using a side-by-side method to version 8.1. Migration method tasks, side-by-side. So this is for a side-by-side migration where you're propping up another server. First thing you need to have, set aside a temporary IP address for that second server. Make sure it's on the same subnet. Also on the version 7.5 or 8.0 that you're upgrading to 8.1, run the Service Desk prereq downloaded from the customer portal, which prepares the production appliance for the migration. Once it's run, you'll power down the production appliance. You'll copy the V8 storage over to the new version 8.1 location where that appliance is installed. Power up the 8.1 appliance and log into the administration console to complete the upgrade as well as the database schema. The migration method task for the database schema. It's the same for either InPlace or side-by-side. You'll select the classic ZENworks Service Desk tile in the administration console, and then it'll prompt you to verify and connect to the database. Once you're connected, you can select Advanced and then Upgrade. It'll go through the upgrade and tell you it's completed. At which time you can log into the portal and your customers and users and all your configurations should be set up. We're going to run through a quick side-by-side migration going from version 7.5 to version 8.1 of Service Desk. And this is pretty much identical if you're going from 8.0 to 8.1 side by side. It's a little bit longer and has a few more components than the InPlace upgrade. But if the operating system has changed, you need to do a side by side, or you wanted to migrate to another VM, you could do the side by side, and that's what we'll do today. So we have our 7.5 server here. We have MSSQL running. You see it's version 7.5. I have the 8.0 up, but first on the 7.5, we're going to log in, and we have to run the prereqs. If we look at the documentation, you can see that we need to run this prereq, which is on the download site in your customer portal. And this has to be done for 7.5 or even 8.0. And this preps the VA storage to back up system configuration files, database connection, customized banners and such onto the VA storage disk. So when you move that over and you kick off the 8.1, it has the configurations set in it. So we're going to go ahead and have our WinSCP. We'll go ahead, copy this over to the temp file, and we're going to go ahead and run that. Now it's prepped for 8.1. Now let's go ahead and, presuming that you have done your backups of your database, you've done backups of your VM or appliance. That way you have everything you need. You backed up any banners or CSS files just in case. You've done screenshots of particular connections so that you can always get back to those connections should something not connect right. You know what the configuration settings are and so forth, different ports and that type of thing. Some of those fire and forget things is well documented so that you have those at your disposal. So we're going to go ahead and now power down our 7.5 device. And we'll close WinSCP, we don't need it. Now that that's down, we're going to go on over to our 7.5 and 8.1. We're going to take our VA storage and we'll copy it over. I copy it instead of moving it. That way, if anything goes wrong, we still have the original 7.5 appliance that we can fire up and continue on, troubleshoot, make sure that, see what's going on and attempt again. So now that we've copied the VA storage over, we're going to go ahead and look at our 7.5 settings. And if we look at our second disk, it's the 00003, and we copied that one over as well. So we'll go here, settings, we'll add another drive, an existing drive, which we copied over. We're going to browse to it. So we'll go to our 8.1, 0003, finish, OK. Now it sees it as a 40 gig. We're going to go ahead and power this device up. The only thing we'll have to do is add in the passwords for root and StAdmin. It should have the rest of the configuration coming from VA storage. Notice the 201, which was the original IP address. Once this comes up and ready, if there are any changes like the Tomcat or Service Desk server file update changes, we can go ahead and make those changes, but we haven't done anything. It's pretty much pretty simple with banners. So let's go ahead and, since this is up, we're going to connect to the StAdmin administration console. Give it a minute for Jetty to come up. Yeah, let's log in. Now we're at 8.1. If we select Classic Service Desk, we can then upgrade the schema to the database. All the database server information is here. We can do a test, connect to the database, hit Advanced, and then do an upgrade. It'll ask you to make sure that you have backups. Do an upgrade. Once complete, you can hit close and it'll go to the Service Desk login. And notice our banners still exist. And if we just go in as admin, we can see we have our customers and users. Our setup is here. Licenses shows 8.1. Database will stay like this until the appliance is restarted, and then this will go away and it'll have all the database information there. Your LDAP is still there, your ZENworks is there. So simply within less than a half an hour, you can upgrade from 7.5 to 8.1 or 8.0 to 8.1 as a side-by-side migration if you wanted to, and take care of getting the upgrade as you need to. So then you just decommission your 7.5. Since it's a side-by-side, you can decommission that server, and you now take backups of your 8.1 database and system, and you're good to go. In Service Desk 8.1, we're introducing subversions. Now this particular update is for version 8.1. However, if you should go into the online update channel again, after upgrading to 8.1, you'll see another upgrade for version 8.1.1 should you choose to install it. This will have additional fixes and it'll have some enhancements. Of course, you have to be on the major.minor version to be installed. Service Desk log locations and debug mode. This pertains to version 7.5 and 8.x and above. The logs can be referenced in TID 7018199. These are lifetime logs, Tomcat logs, etc. There are other logs that Service Desk uses and may be requested from tech support. They could be messages, zipper, Apache 2, Jetty logs, and data model logs. Depending on the condition, we may request one of these. And then there's debug mode. If you wish to put your Service Desk in debug mode, you can reference TID 7017045. And there's also some services restart commands. Whether you want to stop, start, or restart, you can do this either from the administration console or you can do it through these commands. Service Desk resources. I listed here the Focus ZENworks Service Desk documentation site for 8.11, 8.1, 8.0, and 7.5. There's also some Service Desk cookbooks, 7.023, 5.10, and if you're still on version 7 and going to version 8, you can reference TID 7.021, 281, and MicroFocus Ideas Portal, ZENworks Service Desk idea portals, where you can put in and vote for different enhancements and suggestions for the product to improve it. Demonstrations. MicroFocus ZENworks Service Desk version 8.1 upgrade video demonstrations can be viewed at the following two sites. One of the sites is in the on-demand. Even if you haven't purchased on-demand, you're entitled to the free videos for Service Desk. So those are out there, as well as the Service Desk YouTube channel. You'll find additional things out there as well for ZENworks and reporting server and so forth. But be sure to look at the videos on the actual upgrade, either InPlace and or side-by-side upgrades to version 8.1. You'll also find the version 8.1.1 upgrade in there as well. In summary, we've asked you to preview the Service Desk version 8.1 migration details presentation, which is a partner of this one, and it has some pre and post tasks and other reminders on this upgrade in detail. We've showed you the upgrade processes for in-place and side-by-side demos. We talked a little bit about subversions, some debug and logging information and resources. We hope this clears up some questions of what you can expect when upgrading to MicroFocus ZENworks Service Desk version 8.1. Thank you again for watching, and let me know if there are other videos you'd like to see. Thank you for viewing this presentation, part 2 of 2 parts for upgrading to version 8.1 Service Desk.